Hello and welcome to the birthday gift. Okay, so this is an impromptu message. I actually did not plan to record today. As you all can see, I'm in a different location. So something wants to come out. I can tell you that the energies have shifted, as in right now the experiences will feel different. So many of you may just be starting something new, like a new job, a move to a new city. You may have met someone new, or a new person may have come back into your life, like a cousin may be visiting, or a sister may call you who you haven't spoken to in a while. So I'm feeling different energies around. So the way it was shown to me is like many have jumped timeline. So it's like an abrupt decision has now changed your entire path. So now the experiences are going to be different, and you may be at a space like, I don't know what this means. I don't know where this is taking me. I didn't expect this. There's a lot, right? So excuse if you hear a dog barking. It's the neighbor's dog. Okay. All right. But let's get a message here. I'm using the Gilded Tarot. All right. Message, please. They do want you all to kind of go with the flow. Let things happen like second by second, minute by minute, hour by hour, the moon, because you are in uncharted territories. You are in a new experience. So it's like even the cards won't tell you. The cards are only going to tell you like what potentials may be coming up. I feel like many people are dealing with energies they've never experienced before. So you may feel like you're in the dark. You may feel like you're not in the knowing. Trusting your intuition is your best bet right now. Okay, so that's the moon that came out first. Tell me more. So it might be scary for some of you. Ooh, look at that. Some of you are probably dealing with tough energies. Okay, no, they're wanting me to say that differently. This is about letting go. Letting go of those energies. So many of you have already healed. Okay, you've gone through the healing process. The healing process is over for some of you, and you're now feeling well, right? You're feeling strong again. You're feeling capable. That's the word that I'm getting. Like, there is this reassurance that I can do it, that I'll be okay. I'm getting someone who's grounded, who can find peace in whatever it is they're going through. So I'm getting someone who's well put together, like well-rounded, not overtaken by their emotions, even though they feel the emotions and they're able to let it go. So it's like not ignoring that there's something happening, but also not allowing it to deter your path or to take you off path, rather. Okay, so I am getting someone who knows how to get themselves back up again and get things moving again and bringing in results again. So if you're coming from a tough time, I feel like things are getting better. Even though you don't know where it's going, like I feel like it's taking you somewhere better. That's how I'm going to say this here. Okay, so trust the process. I know y'all hear that a lot, but for some reason it feels like it's about to get exciting, like it's about to get good, right? That's what it's feeling like. Here's this is why this is important. This is the Queen of Pentacles. She is very sensible, like she's in touch with her body. She knows how to listen to the cues of like not just her body, right? The physical world, but she's also in touch with the spiritual realm, like her intuition as well. So this is like a very balanced energy, like not too hot, not too cold, but somewhere in the middle. It's like facing reality while also being optimistic, right? There's like this balance with the Queen of Pentacles. She's very rooted in herself. She's grounded. Yes, I think I said that already. I feel like this energy is important because it's what gets you over the hump. It's what gets you over like the fears. It gets you over like thinking about the challenging times and what you went through and what you had to heal. There's a healthy medium with this energy. Okay, there's also an element with this energy of knowing your worth and that you deserve better. So there's this enthusiasm to actually do better for yourself. You call it in. You don't focus on the negatives and the what ifs and those hypotheticals that don't really get you results, right? She's solution based. So that's the energy that gets you over the hump. Because I feel like something exciting is coming in, but you're going to have to help the energies. You can't be in like, woe is me energy, even though you understand that you've gone through things that may not have been fair, or you may still be going through it. You don't allow that to dictate what comes to you, right? You call in what you know you deserve here. So that's like step one to getting over the hump. Okay, so anything else before I cut the deck? Let me see if anything else comes out. Okay, so yes, exactly. Empress, she flew out because she's like, okay, don't forget about me. Let's talk about those boundaries. Let's talk about those, I guess you could say, like, how far will you go before you understand that you can like deplete yourself? She's abundant, right? The Empress, she always has what she needs. Even if it's not in front of her, it comes in right on time because the universe takes care of this one, because it's a loving, giving, caring, nurturing energy. That's why it represents the abundant energy. So this is an energy of knowing your worth, knowing who you are. And I know both of these are feminine energies, but just know I'm talking to male and female. I'm talking to all of you. We all have this energy of knowing who you are, knowing your worth, and knowing what it takes to get it. We all have that ability to speak up for ourselves when we are being wronged. We have the ability to know when we're being taken for granted or when people are taking advantage of us. At the same time, because sometimes it's not the people who are taking advantage. Sometimes it can be us, right? Giving too much, so we enable people to do this. So sometimes we encourage this behavior and think it's for the good of people. And it may be, right? It may have that intention behind it, but there's a limit. And the Empress came up to say, like, we know not to deplete ourselves, overgive our resources, because then we become depleted. So this is knowing how to set healthy boundaries, knowing when to say no more, right? And knowing when to withdraw, right? The Empress energy has a strong, like, silence to it, right? It's like, I don't have to say out loud. Like, it's not a loud energy. It's actually very soft. It's feminine. This is the divine feminine energy, and it attracts. We all know about the negative and the positive. The negative pulls. So this is the negative energy. It's the yin, right? There's yin, yang, and it's the yin. It's the sun, moon. This is the moon energy. Wow, yes. First card. So being able to pay attention to your intuition, and messages are coming through dreams too at night, the moon. This is literally like the things that are hidden coming to light. Oh, I can't wait to see the next row. I feel like something's coming. Okay, let's go ahead and cut the deck and get a message. I'm gonna pull from the top here. Okay, so we have the Page of Swords. Messages coming. There's some type of message. You have to be on alert for this one, because it's not going to come through as, here is a message, right? It could, but for many of you, it may come through as dreams. It may come through as synchronicities. There's something you need to hear, like right now. You may have already heard it, but it hasn't hit yet, right? That light bulb moment. There's a message that's trying to reach you. That's what I'm getting. Many of you, it's coming through your dreams. Others of you, it's coming through that voice. That voice within, it's coming through that voice. It's that little voice. It's your inner voice. It's speaking to you. It's telling you something. Okay, tell me more. Seven of Wands, yes. Set healthy boundaries. You're not supposed to give free access to yourself. Some of you are really depleting yourself by, and it's not like giving out resources. I don't see it in that way. I don't see like you actually giving people things like money or doing things for them. It doesn't have to be tangible. That's where I'm going. Even though it can be, some of you, you are doing that. Many of you have already set those boundaries where you're not really giving like tangible things. Now I'm seeing like it's more of an energetic thing, like what you're thinking about all the time or what you're allowing to affect you in your thoughts on a daily basis. Like that's how I'm getting it. Some of you are just giving your energy to something by simply thinking about it or considering it. When making an important decision in your life, you're literally considering other things external to you, which is not bad within itself, but knowing your limits. I think you guys kind of get it when I say things. There's a balance with it, you know. Nothing is bad within itself. There's always that balance, finding that neutral space. So there's a need to set some type of healthy boundary. Literally there's something you need to block, something you need to not give total access to. Literally. Okay, let's keep going. Three of Pentacles. Okay, if you're working with people, this is concerning people you're working with, and I am getting like people who are different from you or people who you don't usually work with. It could be either or. So I'm getting like either a diverse group working together, and this can mean just people who don't think the same. It can also mean people who have different backgrounds. Like they're trying to get you guys to kind of work with people or the type of people you have never worked with before. So right now, many of you may be dealing with some Five of Wands energy. I'm literally seeing this card like conflict, right? And this can just mean people who rattle you, like you don't understand how they can see something that way. Or it can also be people who intrigue you because their take on something is just so different from yours that you're intrigued, you're interested, you want to know more. So I am getting like people different from you. It's like there's a key to that. So it doesn't have to be like a difference in those common things that we're used to when we say different from you, right? Like race or culture or class, you know. It doesn't have to be those kind of differences. I am getting, it can be people you relate to in one area, but they're totally different from you when it comes to, let's just say, religious beliefs, right? Or it could be someone who's just different in how they think, right? If in this situation you would do this, and in that same situation they would do that, but in all other things you're the same. So it's like someone who is it's probably causing some type of conflict in something you're working with. So you might be partnering with someone and they usually get it their way, and it's like now it's time for you to stand up. Like this is standing your ground and not backing down on what you wanted to do. Someone has to fight for something that they truly want here. That's how I'm going to say this, because that's how it feels. And it might cause like some separation, right? Yep, that's what I'm getting. Or it might cause someone to feel disappointed in you. Oh, okay. Tell me more. Wow, this is, for many of y'all, this is a new project. There might be a lot of money going into something. I'm seeing money exchanging hands. So either you're spending a lot of money into this, or a lot of money may be coming to you because of this. So just notice how they're all holding these pentacles here. And the pentacle is something tangible, something real. Whatever this is, I feel like the results of this can put you in a really good space financially. Okay, this is like funding, like, or money coming in. There's something here about like abundance can come from this. Even the Empress is here. But the foundation of this is knowing your worth and that you deserve it. So you make sure you set healthy boundaries for yourself. Know what you stand for. You have to stand for something. Otherwise you fall for anything. So there's that energy is here. It's like you can't let like everything pass. Certain things have to be dodged. Certain things have to be denied access. Like that's what this is. If you're just free reign, take all, you have no, they're going to walk all over you. Somebody's going to have to stand up and speak some type of truth. The Empress, sometimes your silence is the strongest message. Some of you may have gone silent on someone. Someone may have gone silent on you. Or this could just be the guidance. It's time to stop speaking and like let your actions speak for themselves. It's almost like you don't need to say anything anymore. Just do at this point. Because I'm getting somebody who's exhausted of having to reiterate. This is important for whatever is trying to happen. It's almost like this is the test, right? This is the guideline to getting to the next stage. Like if you can't get through this type of energy, you won't be able to handle the next. So this is like the initiation in a sense. And somebody's having a hard time with working with energies that are different from them. So if you are seeing many things that either you don't agree to, you don't see eye to eye with, if you constantly or consistently see this happening right now, just know you're going through an energy of being able to stay in your balance, even though the things around you don't necessarily agree with you. So it's not about changing that thing to make it agree with you. It's about you being able to, yeah, I don't agree with this thing, right? To be able to say that, but at the same time, continue working and being effective in whatever it is you're doing. Like you can't let that hiccup, right, for the lack of another term, like mess up everything else. Because there's something huge here. You don't see it because it's not going to be revealed. It's not going to be shown to you. You're going to have to like prove that you deserve this by not allowing like the lower energies to hold you back, right? I'm getting wholeness here. I'm getting something wholesome. I feel something well-rounded. I feel like it's going to end up actually working out for you and those around you. Even though right now it may not seem that way or feel like that, whatever this is, it works out if you're able to maintain your balance, your composure in the situation. Like, it's like weathering the storm, right? The storm doesn't change you or rip you into shreds, right? And you're not trying to stop the storm. You're just like, I'm going to walk through this storm and I'm going to make it through the other side. So it's like you and the storm, like agreeing to coexist with each element, right? You and the storm, not trying to destroy each other. It's just like, hey, I'm just a storm. I'm doing what I do. You are who you are, and I'm not trying to change you. I'm not going to destroy you just because you come through me, but just tread lightly, right? So it's like work with whatever situation you're in. I'm trying to like give you guys a visual of what really happening when you're going through tough times. It's like that tough time is not trying to destroy you. Like the only reason it showed up is because you're able to get through it. Like anything that comes through, the only reason it came to you is because you're strong enough to go through it, right? What doesn't kill you make you stronger. Literally, that's what, if anything, this is trying to make sure you get some, like you get what you deserve. There's rewards with this. There is like stability with this. Okay, the Ace of Pentacles is a gift from the universe. And this, to me, It's something you can touch. It's something tangible. It's something real. It's a 3D thing. Some of you, maybe a house or a job, right, where you're making more money. It might be a settlement or a judgment you've been waiting on. Some of you, you might have that lucky lottery ticket. Like there's something real that you can use in your life that comes from this. If you can get through like working with those difficult energies or difficult people, it comes together. Okay, I'm feeling like Holy Trinity, mind, body, soul. You got to work with yourself here. Okay, 9 of Cups. Somebody's wish is coming true. I'm seeing celebration. There is a phase that's ending. So you guys are coming out of the tough times. That's how I'm seeing this. I'm seeing someone's big wish happening. Somebody's wish coming true. Balance again, because you don't want to, because I see someone who's overly excited. Always like, it's like, don't let ego overtake the win. Because as quick as it came in, it can be taken back. So you got to balance even in the celebration, because I see someone like going all out, spending a lot. My gosh, this reminds me of it reminds me of something. Okay, so to whom much is given, much is expected. And I feel like that's why it's so important to go through these trials and tribulations that we go through before you make it through to the other side. It's like so you can appreciate it and you don't lose it. There's something about like maturity in this. Like when you get it, you're not out there boasting about it. You're not out there, putting other people down because you got it and they didn't. There needs to be some balance here. Okay, I'm getting it. I understand. And many, the reason they don't get what they're calling in, many don't even realize the person they would become if what they dreamed of came. Like, many people, many of you don't realize the person you would be if you had everything you wanted. It changes you. And many people don't realize that change will come until they're in the experience, and then they lose it just as fast as they got it because they weren't able to maintain the energy that supports that. Like, there's so much here. There's so much in these two here, because I see someone getting a lot, but I see them like spending and splurging and boasting and bragging, and then that energy doesn't hold it. That energy, they don't work well if they're not balanced, right? They can be friends. These two energies, like spending a lot and doing a lot and like, splurging, whatever. It can work with this Ace of Pentacles having a lot of money. But who are you when you're doing this? What are you thinking about? Like, what are you feeling when you're doing that? Is it, I am better? Is there a superiority energy with it? Because that's when they're not friends. Like, there's a way to do it. It's kind of like the Nutty Professor, that movie with Professor Clump and who was it? Buddy Love. Buddy Love is his alter ego. It's his alter ego when he loses all the weight. But Professor Clump has no idea that that's who he becomes once he loses the weight. But that's what happens when something is just easily obtained. He just drunk that concoction and then he lost all that weight. So he didn't go through the trials and the tribulations of losing the weight, which take years, which takes a lot of discipline and determination, and it takes a lot of dedication, and it takes time. But when you just get it like this, you become a whole different person that you didn't even know existed in there. And that's the kind of energy they're trying to tame. Like, to avoid that, you go through those steps of knowing your worth, of speaking your truth, of setting healthy boundaries, and not allowing open access, of not letting people walk all over you, of working with tough energies, people who are different from you, people with different views, and learning how to live through that and experience it. That way, when you're put in a position where you have everything you need, you're able to hold on to it and share it with those around you. And not only those you like and you agree with, but those who've just been a part of the journey with you. And it comes from a place of love, of balance, right? Mind, body, soul. This is the journey, right? The moon here tells me you get to deal with a lot of those. It's like healing a lot of things that you've been conditioned to do subconsciously, right? Unbeknownst to you, you have this habit, you have this pattern because of, something that happened when you were 3 years old, something that happened when you were 6. It happened when you were 10. It happened in middle school, in high school, when you were in college. Those things are still bringing up certain triggers that needs to be recognized, that it's within you. It's dealing with the shadow without trying to kill the shadow, trying to eliminate the shadow. We need to learn to embrace our dark side, the moon, the sides that people don't see, the sides that people are not aware of except for us. And sometimes we punish ourselves because we have that side of us. No, the whole experience of life is about embracing that side and knowing that that's a part of you and that you love that side, because it comes out when necessary. You use that side of you at certain times in your life, and it's not a bad thing. So it's like the shadow side needs love too. Those sides of you that are not illuminated and praised by society and even by yourself, it needs love too. And as you walk through this valley of the shadow of death, right, which is life in a sense, you start learning it's not really a bad thing to sometimes tell a person off. It's not a bad thing to tell a person no. It's not a bad thing to not always be available. It's actually good when it comes to you because you're not depleting yourself. And when you can look at almost every experience in that way, that's the growth. That's the growth. That's when you can work with everyone, because you're like, okay, they're only reflecting to me a side of me. I remember that side of me. I'm no longer that person, but that side of me still exists within. And I embrace that side of me because it's what taught me to grow, right? And everyone you experience is you in one shape or another. And if you can find something about that person that you can empathize with, and if it's not empathize, you can relate to, right? Or you can see how it's relative to you. Even if you don't relate to it, you can't empathize with it, at least you can see how it's relative to you, how it can bring you a message, how you can learn from it just by viewing it, right? We do this with movies. We do this with videos we watch on social media. Yes, I see the bad guy in the story, but I'm pretty sure there's something there that I don't know, which made that person come to that conclusion that they had to do that. So instead of judging them, I'm going to try to understand why someone would actually do this. So this is like, this is like that sea of love, like where we're all the same. All right, I'm going off on a tangent here, but let's get the last card. Woo! Yes, taming the dark side, the devil within, embracing it. Okay, so that's the message. Many of you, there's things about this walk you don't like, so you demonize it, and that's not it. That's not it. It's like understanding how important this energy is. Understanding there is no good and bad. There just is, right? When things come up in our life and it shows up in a negative way, or in a way where we find it challenging, or we just don't understand why that would happen, trying to understand it. Like, the reason we judge things is because we don't understand it. So trying to understand it. Okay, we're on some other level energies here. Okay, so this is when things get exciting. It literally is a challenge. You know how when things bring no challenge, it becomes boring and it becomes just robotic and it just like, ugh, like, okay, what's next? It's instead of going through like the process of life in some type of like, I don't know, constant machine type pattern where everything has a time and there's a way to do this and it has to be done this way. Like, instead of just getting on that never ending cycle of following rules and letting your life be like written for you and you just follow a script, it is kind of time to start doing those things that maybe it is bad to do it, or maybe like there's so much here and I need to be able to say this in a way where people can understand. Because I think this message has been coming out for quite a while. I'm feeling many have reached a level where they understand themselves more and they understand why they had to be that villain in someone else's story. Or some of you may have thought you've always been the good guy, but you're realizing how you are the villain. And embracing that side of you. There's so much here. I want to do another row because they told me something exciting. And I kind of feel the excitement here with this Ace of Pentacles. So if you're in that space where you're learning to work with tough energies, people who are different from you, or you're meeting people who are totally different from you, and it's like, it intrigues you, just know you're in a whole new world. And you're going to start seeing things happen a little bit easier. Like, I see things happening in a certain flow. Your other side, let it play. Let it come in. Take that with a grain of salt. Like, if this message is for you, it's for you. If it's not, it's not. Because I can feel certain people are thinking I'm saying something that I'm not. But if you flow with the message, you know what I'm saying here. Let's keep going. Wow, 10 of Wands. So we're putting down heavy burdens. Many people, there's going to be a lot of things that was too heavy for you to carry. They're going to be taken off your back. Let's see here. Because you see the bigger picture, higher awareness is important. Reflection, and this is reflection on self. If everything you're reflecting on is how someone else did something or how something else like affected your life or how something showed up in your life, if it's always about that, it's like, that's not it. It's self-reflection, self-awareness. What can I learn from this? What is this saying about me? And you don't always have to make yourself the bad guy. And just because you're asking those questions does not imply that it's negative, right? Sometimes it's showing you how strong you are, how you could have been gotten this reward, or you could have been gotten this big break had you moved like this a long time ago. Sometimes the awareness is a beautiful, beautiful thing, right? An epiphany here. Okay, you fought the fight and you won. You're winning. Many of you, you are taming this side of you. The ego is no longer winning, the lower ego. Because the ego itself is not a bad thing. We have healthy egos. But the lower ego is no longer winning. I'm getting a victory here for some of you. I'm getting a huge victory here. Okay? I'm getting a lot of earth energy because we have the Empress, which is Taurus. We have the Devil, which is Capricorn. We have the Hermit, which is Virgo. We got a lot of earth energy. Pisces was our first card. So we got water too. Wow. Okay. This is it. This is the excitement. Many of you, you're going to be meeting it's like a kindred soul. This meeting, you will feel it instantly. It's like some type of strong pull towards someone. I'm getting people coming into your life and you can't forget them. And there's some type of past life A lot of you are calling in a certain person. It's going to feel exciting and you're not going to be able to forget this person. This energy is strong here. It's like enticing. It may have an element of, it might have an element around it where society tells you that this energy is not good for you, like based on society's rules. Let's get the last card, but it's exactly what you're meant to be experiencing at this exact time. Wheel of Fortune is divine intervention. It's destiny. Some of you are meeting someone that you're meant to meet. This is going to be one of those meetings you cannot deny. I feel like it's going to be so strong, though. Like I'm getting something's very strong here. It's like a pull, like the devil is right above it. There's something about it. There's temptation, right? There's some type of lusty, like it's enticing. It feels dangerous. It feels exciting. It feels like it can be an addiction. Like I'm getting something very potent. You can't deny it. And based on society's rules, you're not supposed to do that. Okay, they're telling me I can end it there. We're going to look at the overall. We got Page of Pentacles. It's okay. So there's like, you're in a new energy. There's new lessons to be learned. Okay. Many of you have graduated and you moved on from your past lesson. So just know this is like a different grade. This is a different level. We're back in school. This is like what I'm seeing, like school starting again. And many of you have graduated from the last lesson. So expect this one to be like a level up. So more is expected of you. And it's like, you know better. You know better than to just follow along, right? That's how I'm getting. Like, now you're expected to think outside the box. Like you're no longer in high school. Let's just say you're going to college. Like don't expect your teachers or your professors to carry your hand, right? It's not, oh, it's lunchtime, get in the line. It's like, okay, get out of here and go eat and make sure you have your own money and you go find the lounge on your own. So there's like, nobody's holding your hand. It feels like you're in the big leagues here. So in the big leagues, sometimes you will have to break the rules. Like, I'm just telling y'all the message how it is, but that's because you're not really breaking rules. You never were breaking rules. Those were rules given to the younger ones who weren't at that space where they can think for themselves. Now you're in a space where you're expected to think for yourself. So you shouldn't look at it as breaking rules. It's really just you flowing and going with the energies. We're going to leave it there because they're telling me enough is enough. So whoever this message is for, it's for you. Let it be what it is. Okay. We're going to leave it there. I'm going to actually inquire on these cards. See what energy is around you. I feel like it's exciting, but the way I'm seeing it is like somebody's thinking, should I be doing this? Is this the right way? Like this feels kind of scary. We start with the moon, we end with Wheel of Fortune. Listen, you're going into unknown, uncharted territories. There is no playbook. There are no rules here. You make the rules. Just make sure you understand what happens, right? The energy you send out, it comes to you. So the golden rule is probably the best one to live by here. Okay. I could have kept going with this message. There's so much that's trying to come out. Okay, so for those of you who follow me on Patreon, you all, you'll see me a lot, like in this space and in my other space. I kind of travel a lot, so I had to make sure I'm not missing out on the messages. So this is like another space that I'll start recording from time to time. You'll see me here, and other times you'll still see me at my regular space. Okay, all right, tell me what energies surround this message. Anything else? This is a high honor. Yes, you moved on up. you're actually being revered with what you've been able to heal. A lot of you have gained a lot of wisdom through this walk of life, and you're learning to apply it effectively, right? And it's actually making you a better person, because I see many of you no longer carrying these burdens. You're no longer being that person that people, dump all their stuff on. You're no longer enabling others to take advantage of you. This is a high honor. So I see you it's like a status change. I am seeing you in a whole different, this is, y'all on another level. There's so much available to you here, but you got to really learn to trust your intuition. Okay, that's so important. Go with the flow. Don't give yourself these rules of, if this happens, it's a red flag. If that happens, it's a green flag. No, just go with what you feel in the moment. Remember, the rules that were given to you by society, you are rewriting your life. There is no script. There is no script. And if there is, you need to go off script, because that's how things blossom for you. I love that the devil energy came out, because it's so beautiful. It's like the synergy of energies that make things so pure. Okay, so let's see what this is. Occupation. So many of you, the changes are in work, what you're doing, what you're building, who you're working with, whatever project you're working on. That's where the abundance is coming from. So many of you have been guided to go on you're working in a different field, or you're doing something different. And if you're in the same field, there's some type of change in it, right? There's so much I'm getting here. All right. So many of you, this connection here, it's going to be someone you work with, or you're going to find yourself partnering with. There's something around someone you work with and some type of divine meeting. So for some of y'all, it's someone you meet at work. Others of y'all, it's an opportunity to work with someone. And this is it's going to create so much abundance for both people. Just, there's something about it, you got to do it in this. All right, let me stop here. That's it. That's the message. Okay. I just would tell you, go with the flow. Love the feeling that you're in. Go with the flow of everything. Okay. That's today's message. I'm going to leave it there. I hope this was helpful, and I hope it reaches whoever it's meant to. Thank you all for watching. I'll see y'all soon. Okay. I don't think I'm going to be recording for August. I'm not sure yet, but we'll see. All right. I'll talk to you all soon.